What is up, everyone? So today I'll be playing some Mono Poison, which has always been one of my favorite types. It's actually the type that originally got me into into Monotypes. Back in Generation 5, I think it was. I was playing online for the first time, so I couldn't play online in Generation 4, something too weird with Irish internet, or I don't know, GS wouldn't connect. Anyway, Generation 5 came out and I could finally play online on the black and white cartridges. And I remember fighting someone with a Mono Poison team, and I thought, that's so cool. That, and I was always really a big fan of Koga as a kid. So that kind of sparked my interest in playing Monotype. I started building the Mono Poison teams, and then eventually later in Generation 6, I actually found the Monotype format, so that is where it all began. Now, typically speaking, Mono Poison is a defensive type. I would think you can often play Stall or like triple regen core defensive, but I decided to go for a more offense-orientated Poison. It's maybe not the best. It did pretty well in testing. I think I hit around top 20 in the ladder. It's a bit more stressful to play than defensive Poison, but I think it's a bit more exciting to watch as well, and does require some seriously good plays, I think, to get off working. So hopefully we can show those off in today's video. So before we jump into the team, I want to say a shout out to Anne, who left this lovely comment on my wall the other day. It means a lot to me, put a big smile on my face to see I inspire others to play Monotype, and they asked me to play a Mono Poison team, so this one is for you. So let's jump right into the team. So first off, I wanted to try the new Sneezler. Sneezler is supposed to be incredibly amazing. Personally, I attribute it all to the fact it has Dire Claw, which is a really stupid move. It's basically Poison Jab, but instead it has a 50% chance, not just to poison, it can also sleep or paralyze the target, which is kind of insane. It's also Stab, which is very nice. Its stats are pretty amazing. Base 130, 120 offenses are honestly really good, especially for poison, and it has the incredible ability Unburden, making this thing obscenely fast when you want it to be. Like, it's just kind of Weavile, but better. I know it serves a different purpose, but better ability, better stat spread, better move pool distribution. I feel like they really wanted this thing to show up Weavile, unfortunately. So with Unburden and Endure, I can guarantee I survive on 1 HP, which also acts as a pseudo protect, which means I can stall like poison turns or stall like weather turns and stuff, which can be quite nice. It also activates my Lychee Berry, increasing my attack by 1 stage, meaning this thing hits just shy of 600, which is very strong, and hits well over 600 speed, which is insanely fast. I'm going to outspeed pretty much every single choice Scarfer in the tier. With that, we also have Close Combat, which does hefty damage against Steel types, which are kind of annoying for my team, so it's nice to have that. If you are particularly spicy, you can use Reversal with Endure Lychee Berry. It's going to hit 150 base, which is a lot stronger than Close Combat. Just bear in mind that you are pretty much locked into only using it when you're on low HP, otherwise it's going to be very weak. Finally, Night Slash. Not a big fan of Night Slash personally, it's just there for Psychic types because Psychic types give my team a lot of trouble, so I can potentially endure it and hit back against things like Latias and Oko them, which is pretty nice. So Sneezler is definitely an insanely powerful Pokemon and serves a way better purpose on the team than Toxicroak. That said, if I'm being honest here, I think Toxicroak is a better design. That's just my personal preference, but Sneezler is a very fun Pokemon to use, so hopefully it does some good and definitely fits the offensive playstyle of this team. Next up we have Mega Venusaur. It's kind of like a bulky offense Mega Venusaur with max special attack, modest nature, and max HP. It's decently bulky, 363 HP is pretty nice, and 328 special attack is okay. It gets a lot stronger after you Mega Evolve and also gets better defenses after you Mega Evolve, which is quite nice. I have Chlorophyll before Mega Evolving just in case I'm against like a fire team and I need to sweep them with Chlorophyll Earth Power. You can potentially do that, but 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be Mega Evolving into Mega Venusaur. With that, again, Earth Power is good for opposing poison types. It's also good for steel types, which are very annoying for my party, particularly looking at you, Heatran. We have Giga Drain, which is really good for longevity. It's not the strongest stab, so you could go a lot stronger with something like Energy Ball, or if you want to go crazy, Leaf Storm, or even Petal Blizzard, I think, or Solar Beam are options. Personally, I wouldn't suggest them. I like Giga Drain, it gives you that longevity. We have Synthesis, which again, you can change this if you want. If you want to go for something like Sludge Bomb to have a bit of extra coverage, a bit of extra oomph in your power, in your moveset, you can do that. But I like the potentially bulky wall-in of Synthesis plus Giga Drain. Can be quite nice for longevity. Next up we have Leech Seed for much the same reason, not necessarily an offensive tool, but can be used nicely if you want to pivot into another Pokemon and give them the HP regeneration, because as you'll see, I don't think I have any Black Sludge users at all on my team, so the longevity of my team is not there like Poison teams typically would have, so it's important to have some kind of healing capacity on the team. Next up we have Iron Moth. I am running heavy duty boots because this thing is quite weak to stealth rocks, and as well I don't want to particularly be hit by sticky webs because if it lowers my speed it really reduces the utilization of this Pokemon. We're max special attack, max speed with a modest nature again. This thing hits really high level special attack, especially after a fiery dance boost, it can go kind of crazy. And we do have agility to patch up its decent speed to make it really strong, and again outspeed pretty much every choice Scarfer in the tier after 1 agility. Quark Drive, unfortunately, we can't force ourselves to use it, but against mono electric teams, it can kind of come in a bit clunch and increase my special attack by 1.3 times, which is quite nice, as mono electric is pretty decent in this ladder. Fiery Dance, as I said, is just very good stab. Hits steel types again, you're probably sick of hearing me say that, but steel is a very tough matchup for me, and again very prevalent in the tier. It's also very good against Bug, and Bug is a really strong type in the tier right now. Things like Cleaver are added, Caesar generally is very strong, and opposing Volcarona. Fiery Dance is very good and can also snowball into a very offensive threat. We have Energy Ball, extremely good for ground types. Again, ground is a tough matchup for me, so it's nice to have that. As well as that, it also hits water type super effectively, which is nice because otherwise they can kind of wall out my Iron Moth. And finally we have Dazzling Gleam, and that is there for the dragons in the tier. Dark types too, but I don't struggle as much with dark type, so Dazzling Gleam is definitely quite nice for dragons, because otherwise they kind of wall out Fiery Dance, Energy Ball. Next up we have Skuntank. I'm kind of ashamed to be using Skuntank right now because I was literally having this conversation in my Discord the other day of why Muck is just the superior option, but my team really lacked defoggers and rapid spinners, and I tried a lot in testing, and Skuntank definitely fit the bill quite nicely. So it's going to be a max HP, max attack Skuntank with adamant, naughty nature, that could also technically be adamant, maybe it should be. We're going to stick with naughty because that's what I used in testing. I used naughty for burning jealousy, but I think I would change to adamant if you were using this. Just give that a tiny bit extra longevity. So item and ability wise we have Aftermath and Rocky Helmet, and they are there to punish physical attackers. If something knocks me out, they're taking Rocky Helmet chip and Aftermath, dealing a total, I think it's like 31% of their HP total just to hit me, which is crazy powerful. Especially multi-hit moves or moves where I can survive a couple of hits, they really have to punish themselves just for attacking Skuntank, which I quite like. It is the defogger on the team as well because this team really hates rocks. It also really hates like Sticky Web because we need the speed on things like Iron Moth, Sneezler, Nihilego and Gengar, so to get rid of webs, and again Web's Bug is quite prevalent at the moment in the meta. We have Pursuit to trap the Dark Psychic types or Ghost types. Again, Ghost type is still very prevalent in the meta, and Psychic is a very tough matchup for me, so it's nice to be able to trap those and punish those if they want to swap out. Can also be used to punish physical attackers. Maybe they see, oh, I'm taking a lot of Rocky Helmet chip, or I get hit by Aftermath here. Pursuit can punish them as well by doing a decent bit of damage. Not usually going to OHKO anything, but it can definitely help me later in the tier. Especially for things like Nihilego to sweep. We have Sucker Punch as well. Sucker Punch is there, so this thing can't really attack unless you kind of read your opponent pretty nicely, but if you can read, the Skuntank is pretty good, and Sucker Punch is there to punish Pokemon after the potential they set up, or they want to try and Earthquake me, or whatever they want to do. Sucker Punch can be nice to just deliver a final blow, or again weaken them for another Pokemon to KO them afterwards. Burning Jealousy is a really good move. It's kind of hard to get working, but if you can get it off, it's super satisfying. Absolutely crazy punishes things like Dragon Dance or Swords Dancers. If they think, okay, well, Skuntank's easy setup, I maybe spam Sucker Punch a few times, and they realize, okay, this thing's just going to try Sucker Punch me, I'm just going to set up in its face. On that turn, you can punish them with Burning Jealousy and force a burn on them, which is really good because it kind of negates their Dragon Dance or Swords Dances, and again, helps my team out a lot. Next up we have Nihilego, personally one of my favourite poison type Pokemon. With Choice Scarf, it's pretty self-explanatory. Max is special attack, max speed, timid nature. It hits decent levels of speed, especially good against things like Fire, Bug, Flying by spamming Power Gem. We have Dazzling Gleam for Dragon types, against partially Dark types as well, but they're not as big a threat. Grass Knot is very good against ground types, especially Hippowdon, who's extremely heavy, can potentially OHKO them. And Sludge Wave is there for nice neutral stab. We also have Beast Boost, which is absolutely crucial to its playstyle, with Choice Scarf increasing its special speed quite decently. Every time I get a KO, my special attack actually increases, so 353 is okay, not amazing, but after a special attack or after a KO, this thing can become a special attacking snowball, kind of similar to Sneezler or Iron Moth. It's kind of a theme here in the team, which is quite nice. And finally, we have Choice Specs Gengar. Personally, I would love to have Levitate on this. Unfortunately, it's not allowed. We only have Cursed Body, which is fine too. It can be nice to punish special Choice Scarfers or Choice users. Not necessarily on command, but it can kind of come in clutch. Again, Levitate would be much better, but we'll deal with it nonetheless. So with Choice Specs, this thing hits very respectable levels of special attack and doesn't need to boost itself. It also has really good speed with 350, outspeeding a lot of crucial speed tiers in the tier. And of course it has Trick, which means I can punish walls that could otherwise potentially wall me out. It can be very good against the Poison Ditto when I'm trying to KO, for example, Toxapex, which can wall me out quite a bit. Tricking on a Choice Specs to it is quite nice. Also for Ferrothorn or like Celesteela, a lot of Steel types as well don't particularly appreciate it. Speaking of Steel types, we have Focus Blast to deal with those, as well as Dark types, which can potentially swap in on Gengar, Shadow Ball, or Sludge Wave. Looking at you, Bisharp, I think King of Gambit's finally banned from the tier, so that's not something we have to worry about. Sludge Wave, much like Nihilego, is just powerful stab in case things might resist Shadow Ball, or against the normal matchup we can also spam Sludge Wave. Not the best against things like Hisui and Zoroark, but it's otherwise going to wall out my Focus Blast, so Sludge Wave is there and a decent move. And finally we have Shadow Ball, which is quite a spammable move, especially against Steel types or types that have a Steel type on their team that I can't use Sludge Wave against, so can be quite nice against anything but the dark or normal matchup. So that is going to be the team for today. Before we jump right into some games, I want to ask you, who is your favorite Poison type Pokemon introduced in Generation 9? Please comment down below. For me, I was going to say Iron Moth, but personally I really like Lamora, Poison Rock, two of my favorite types combined. I think it's really cool. I personally don't use Toxic Debris much. I like Corrosion a bit more. I thought Corrosion's a really cool ability and I really wanted to see it on another Poison type Pokemon since we got it on Salazzle in Generation 7. So that's going to be it right there, and let's jump into some games. So our first game is against Monobug, and Monobug is actually really prevalent in the meta right now. I've noticed that recently I've been seeing a lot of it around. We definitely do have to worry about defogging away Galvantula's sticky webs if they get him down, because Volcarona is going to be a pretty big threat to me. Honestly, I think Scolipede will too, so we're going to open up with Gengar. As they open up Scolipede, interesting. They might try go for an early Earthquake. Do I want to lose Gengar? They could also protect turn 1, but in case they want to try and Swords Dance, I'm going to Shadow Ball and just KO them. That's pretty nice. I could have gone into Weezing there, or sorry, maybe in my Venusaur there, but I'm afraid if they did Swords Dance, it could have meant game for me, and I don't want to obviously lose that early. There's the Sticky Web I mentioned, that's fine. I just have to make sure I can get into a position where my Skuntank can defog them. And I think then Nihilego is quite strong. Do we Shadow Ball here? Does a decent chunk. We get the Spadef drop too, which is really nice. That applies pressure on them, so it's going to force them to attack here. Of course, they end up killing me. They don't get the increase. Pretty good. I think Skuntank lives 1. It's relatively bulky. And if we can defog here, if they got the boost, I think Fiery Dance, oh wow, that absolutely would have killed there, so very lucky for me. And I guess we spam Sucker Punch here. Force them to attack me, that's fine. I will save this, I guess, or do I? No, maybe not against Crustle. I don't think they're max speed. I'm going to Burning Jealousy anyway, just in case they were max speed and Shell Smash went off before me, which is great because now I get the burn here, effectively rendering them useless. And again, I can kind of spam Sucker Punch. They are essentially on a timer here, and if they attack me, Xers is fine because they get hit by Rocky Helmet and Aftermath. That ends up KOing them, kind of surprising. And yeah, I'm just going to Nihilego here, and I think I win the game. So, pretty nice game turn 1. I'm kind of surprised it's max speed. Crustle, I guess it makes sense. They wanted to get as much value off their Shell Smash as possible, but it did let my Burning Jealousy go kind of crazy. So with that, let's look for another game. So we load up a Mono Grass. In theory, this matchup is very winnable. In practice, it can be quite difficult, so I have to be careful with this, especially things like Ferrothorn and Meowscarada can be kind of scary for me. I want to open up with Iron Moth and just put pressure on the Ferrothorn right away, but I think Sneezler equally does that. They go into Sceptile. I don't think there's anything you can do to Okomi, so I'm gonna go for a Dire Claw here. I hope they can't Okomi. I mean, what do they run? They don't run Draco, I don't think. No. I don't think there's anything they can do. They sub, that's fine. If they go into their... Oh, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get their Unburden, like, Lychee, I think. Yeah, this is fine. I'll Dire Claw again. Because they can do it one more time. They're going to activate their berry. No? Where do you play at? Let's go to Skuntank here and try to get some Rocky Helmet Chip. Ah, Endeavor. That's actually really cool. And you know what? This is fine. I'm not going to be able to get off my... Unfortunately, my defog, but I do punish them heavily here with my Rocky Helmet Aftermath. It's pretty good. And they do get the advantage swap in here because they are forced to reveal what they want to swap into. I think Gengar, this position is really strong. They could go swap back into their Meowscarada, but even still it's going to be eating a Specs Shadow Ball, which nothing particularly likes to eat. Now part of me wants to trick here. In case they go into like Ferrothorn or Meowscarada. I'm not going to Sludge Wave. I think I'll do Shadow Ball. It would have been so nice. Oh, I get the Spadef drop. That is fantastic for me. That puts so much pressure on them that we can just spam Shadow Ball some more. I think I go into my Venusaur here in case they're Earth Power. They're obviously Mega. That's fine. Sludge did a lot. No, it was a crit. That did nothing. Okay. I guess we can go Iron Moth if all they're going to do is spam Sludge here. And we'll Fiery Dance. Hurricane is cool, but I am not a Bug type. What do you do? I think we go Venusaur. It's kind of the weakest link here. We need knockoff relatively well. I kind of want to swap. Is that like a really bad move to swap here into Iron Moth? Let's try it. Yes. Excellent. I kind of expected Ferrothorn to come out here, so that's just what I wanted. I could Agility up, actually. This thing is definitely Spadef. It is crazy bulky. I could start spamming Shadow Balls, I suppose, but I'm also okay to spam Fiery Dance here. After a boost, which I don't get, unfortunately, it applies a lot of pressure to my opponent. Yes, there's my boost. Please don't be Earth Power. Okay, that's fine. Boost? No boost. It's okay, I'm wasting their synthesises. Synthesi. I don't know what the word is. Either way, this is okay. We do a good bit of damage here. And then we can go into, I think, my Sneezler. And we're just going to hit Dire Claw and hope to activate something nice. What can it be? Sleep, Paralysis. It can't be Poison, obviously, because it's Poison type. A Sleep would be very nice here. If they go into Ferrothorn, I just close combat. I'm not too worried about that. And I don't know that there's much that Meowscarada can do against me in this particular position. In fact, if I get rid of Ferrothorn, it's very good for me. Because I think I can just start spamming Sludge Wave on Gengar then. And Nihilego, but I do think Venusaur will be able to wall it decently. I'm not sure what its last move in. Maybe Hidden Power Fire? Shame we couldn't get an earlier Fiery Dance boost. Maybe I should have swapped out, but I have plenty of options to deal with Ferrothorn. Worst case scenario, I have my Venusaur here. Perfect. That is just what I wanted to see. We forced in Ferrothorn, that's fine, because we're in a close combat here. Nothing really swaps into this. I'm not going to lie. Dire Claw is potentially a reason we're going to see this thing being banned, because it's really, really dumb. I'll enjoy the play rough here. Eat my Lychee Berry. Yummy. +1 attack, and Unburden pretty much seals the deal for the game here. I don't think there's Sucker Punch on Meowscarada, not if they're Choice Scarf, and even if they are, Venusaur walls it out pretty nicely with Synthesis. and I'm not at all worried about Lilligant. I wish Lilligant was better. I think it's a really cool mon. I prefer its base form, its Noivern form, but I'm just a big Lilligant fan, so... And I haven't used it much, so don't quote me on that. Maybe in like 2 videos time and be like, Lilligant is the new meta. But I've seen it being used, and I find Victory Dance in theory is a good idea. It's like Dragon Dance with defense, or like Bulk Up with speed. I don't think its defense is necessarily good enough. I think it's just like a slightly better Dragon Dance. And Dragon Dance is a really good move, so don't get me wrong. I just think the stats and the fact it has Hustle is maybe not the most use for it. Can I spin? Oh, it's Hustle. Yeah, I was wondering. I don't think Ice Spinner can miss. Then I realize it's Hustle. Even if they did KO me there, I simply go into Nihilego, click Sludge Wave, and that would be the game. So let's pause there and look for another one. Mono Normal is honestly a really scary type. Ursaluna is just ridiculous, and that thing hits like a truck. It's even scarier when it can disguise as Hisuian Zoroark, so you're not even sure, am I fighting Ursaluna or I'm about to get absolutely destroyed by Hisuian Zoroark? With this in mind, I think Sneezler is really good in this game. I actually quite like Gengar too. I kind of want to open up with Gengar. Or do I know? Because if they open up with their Cyclizard, it could be kind of bad for me. So, I guess I'll open up with Sneezler. I don't like the idea of this thing being attacked early on, so we're going to Dire Claw. I expect they're going to Shed Tail into their Hisuian Zoroark, and of course then mute. It just Drake with me. Okay. Well, I can honestly say I did not expect that. Well played on my opponent's part. I'll trick here. Hopefully they were Specs. They might go into Chansey. If I can trick a Specs onto their Chansey, that would be pretty... That's Zoroark. That is 100% Zoroark. It's like a Z Crystal, Z Celebrate, if I was to guess. Wow. This is a very bad start to the game. Yep, as expected. I'm going to try Pursuit Trap this. They might just stay in and hit Focus Blast or something, or even Hyper Voice is going to do quite a lot of damage to me. It's not Specs anyway, because otherwise Trick would went through, right? Or maybe you can't trick Zoroark in disguise? Is that a thing? I didn't think so. Either way, if we get rid of this, it'd be pretty nice. Yeah, there you go, it's Z Celebrate. Oh, it's Breakneck Blitz. Well then. I think I might have just gotten obliterated. The early Draco I did not expect. I was quite confident going Sneasler, like, oh, I'm just going to Dire Claw early and try hit the Zoroark, but yeah, they absolutely outplayed me. On the Trick as well was a very good play. I presume they expected me to potentially go for a Focus Blast or something, that's why they went into Zoroark, but regardless of their logic, it was a very good play. I'm going to try Leech Seed here again, just in case they swap into something. Yeah, Cyclizard, this thing is so annoying. I don't even think I can break its Shed Tail if it goes into something like Chansey. They go into Ursaluna, fine by me. Huh? Huh, is that how the interaction works? My seeds disappeared because they were seeded to Cyclizard? I don't know, I've never seen that interaction. I trust that's how it works, I've just never seen it. So they're about to Earthquake me or Facade me, and yeah, I get absolutely destroyed. I do have to junk though. Do I want to keep this alive? I kinda do. They're gonna Earthquake. I know they're gonna Earthquake, but why have they Facade? They're gonna Earthquake though, right? They have to Earthquake, it's the better play. But I want Venusaur alive. Nice. Okay. That's really good for me. We're just going to Sludge Wave here. I know it's not the strongest. However, I just couldn't afford to have them go into Zoroark and eat my Focus Blast, or even miss the Focus Blast, worst case scenario. This is... Let me scroll up. Did I do damage to Chansey? Failed, Shadow Ball, Breakneck Blitz, Flamethrower, Leech Seed. The opposing Hisuian Zoroark was seeded. Okay, this is Zoroark. Let's go Nihilego. Doesn't do too much. Now, unfortunately, they can go into Chansey easily here and pretty much wall me out, or even Cyclizard, realistically speaking. So let's try get in Venusaur and drain some HP back. Losing my Skuntank early was quite bad. Maybe I should have Sucker Punched. I think it would have KO'd. There's no point dwelling over the past, though. I mean, it is important to look back at the matches and learn, you know, oh, could I have done that better? Sucker Punch is obviously the play. But I was kind of expecting maybe Z Celebrate, and they wanted to pop it off later in the game. Let's hit the timer here. Do I realistically have an out? Or does Chansey just wall my entire team? Maybe with like Leech Seed and Synthesis. Maybe I can do some damage to Chansey, but I'm not too sure. Speaking of, I think it actually comes out here, which is why I'm going into Mega Venusaur. And I can't even really set up on Iron Moth, because if I do, it just opens up Ditto to copy me. Now I guess Fiery Dance isn't going to do too much against Nihilego, and once I do take care of Zoroark, Focus Blast Gengar or Trick Gengar is a lot better. It's possible. Let me pause here until this person makes... So right on cue they went into Chansey. Let's let me leech them here. They're Stealth Rocks. Fine. I guess I'm going to Earth Power to try and knock the Cyclizard out of range of Chantellian. I don't think they stay in here. I'm draining a lot of HP off them. Okay, they stay in. They go for rocks again. I don't know if Giga Drain, so it's going to recover, what, 33%, so 38. It's going to be too high for Giga Drain, I think, to knock it out. So we'll Earth Power here continuously. Honestly, if they want to give me Chansey, or give me damage on Chansey, that's fine. I think it opens up Nihilego a lot, as well as Iron Moth. And Gengar. Honestly, it opens up my whole team. I wish I didn't lose my two physical attackers. I mean, I didn't expect the Draco. That was a fantastic play from my opponent. Okay, Ditto comes out. I'm not worried about this. Worst case, they Earth Power me. It does a decent chunk. I can synth it back. Yeah, it's not doing that much at all. I don't think they want to lose damage on that, so I'm going to Giga Drain here. Ah, wow, it actually puts it out of range of Shed Tail. That's fantastic for me. I'm going to synth once. I expected Draco, but overheat's fine too. I guess I Giga Drain here again. It's good to know that does quite a lot. It's pretty much the same as their regen, so as long as I can keep it somewhat low, I can prevent it from Shed Tailing out. So this game isn't necessarily lost, but it's going to be difficult to pull back, I think. Do I Leech Seed here? I guess I do. I mean, worst case, they go Ditto. It's fine. I can synth again. Realistically, I don't think their Ditto's a huge problem. If they're nasty plots or work, it is. Oh, they end up forfeiting? That's kind of surprising. They didn't even take out their Lopunny yet, and I feel like Lopunny could have done a lot of work against me, especially because it's no doubt Mega and would have hit my Gengar regardless, so... I don't think I would have forfeited there. I think I would have tried at least a bit more, but hey, we'll take those wins and look for another one. So we have Mono Bug again. Very scary type, very prevalent in the meta right now. It must be one of the most used. I think it was last I checked, which doesn't surprise me. It's a cool type, very strong type, and I think Cleaver is an insanely powerful new Pokemon. I like Skuntank in this game. A lot, I think, and Nihilego. Let's open up Gengar again. Hope they don't open up Cleaver. They do. Is it Choice Scarf? Very possibly. We're going to Shadow Ball anyway. They are hungry for their rocks. They're Psycho Cut. Interesting. And they are Choice Scarf Psycho Cut. Good to know because I can Pursue Trap this. If they go into something like Caesar, maybe it's okay because I can potentially Burning Jealousy. Araquanid should be fine. I go Venusaur. And I should eat decently well. Okay. Oh, is this going to be like that really annoying Toxic Sticky Web Soak? set. I feel like I'm not too scared of it being trapped in here with you. Another forfeit? Really? I don't know where these are coming from. I just want to get a good game, a good long game, but I mean, this is how I hit so high on the ladder as Poison. Let me see if I can find it here. Yesterday when I was testing this team, I hit number 20 on the ladder. Now it's decayed a little bit, or 2 days ago I hit number 20 on the ladder with this alt. And honestly, I feel like so much of it was just doing nothing, and I won. I just entered a match, 2 turns later they're like, nah, I'm not doing this, I'm forfeiting. So let's look for another game, and hopefully this one actually plays out. Back to haunt me in yet another generation, it is Mono flying, and this team looks very scary, especially Braviary. I haven't really fought Braviary properly yet, but it's supposed to be quite scary with Sheer Force, Life Orb. I think it's like Psy Shield Bash, maybe that's the Stantler move, but some Psychic base 100 move that's boosted by Sheer Force is crazy powerful. Now Nihilego goes crazy in this game. I definitely want to keep Skuntank alive for Braviary. Venusaur's not the best. I guess I could open up with early Venusaur. Actually, no, I open up with early Gengar. Please don't be Choice Scarf. Nice. Okay, never mind, that's no longer a threat. And Gengar scores an early KO. It's pretty good. They don't actually have anything that outright outspeeds me. Now, of course, Dragonite can do a lot to me. I'm going to Shadow Ball regardless. Break its multiscale. It Dragon Dances. It probably Earthquakes here. That's fine, because I can go into Nihilego afterwards. If they roost, kind of annoying. I think I go to Nihilego and just click Power Gem. I hope it KOs. It's not multiscale. Yeah, it KOs. Definitely. Shame to lose Gengar so early. I was too afraid to swap out in case they went for another Dragon Dance that outsped me and definitely won the game. I need to keep this alive. I guess I don't value Venusaur much in this game. U-turn. Zard could be like Zard Y. Again, I'm not too threatened by that. Nihilego kind of just comes in and gets a KO anytime. That does so much. Aha, you are seated. Okay, I'm gonna do something maybe a little bit stupid. I'm gonna go to Nihilego here. And I expect them to go into Corviknight, so on that I'm gonna go into Iron Moth. And that was a mistake. Mistakes were made. But that seems to be the best move they have against me. In which case, yeah, just agility up, but they forfeit again. I mean, can I get a game? Just one? Do I leave it there? Maybe I do. Make the thumbnail. Mono Poison wins by doing absolutely nothing. That would be fun. I'll think about it. So we have another game against Mono Grass. I think this is the same team from earlier, and I remember Sceptile being quite scary, so what I'm going to do here is actually open up with my Gengar, as they open up with Sceptile, so they cannot use their Endeavor on me, which is good for me. Grass Whistle is really interesting, actually. Grass Whistle is kind of scary, as it misses twice, because Grass Whistle sucks. I mean, I feel that's on them for using Grass Whistle. We get another forfeit. I still haven't got a legitimate game. Well, maybe the first two, to be fair, they were legitimate, but since then it's just been forfeit after forfeit. I don't get it, it's crazy, but I guess we take them. We have another game against Monobug. I'm starting to see that the ladder is maybe just a tiny bit dead today, which is probably why we're seeing the same person so many times. However, we're going to open up with Venusaur this time, expecting them potentially to open up with Cleaver, because Cleaver is definitely very scary for my team. If they open up Galvantula, I think that's fine. I can just Earth Power potentially and try to KO it. I don't particularly want webs down. That is an issue for me, I guess. But nonetheless. What else do we want in this game? Nihilego goes crazy, especially when Scizor's gone. Now, I don't necessarily have a Scizor answer. I have Iron Moth, but it's squishy enough that swapping into like 2+2 bullet punches is going to get it KO'd, so I should be kind of careful with that. But once it is down, and once I break the Sash and Galvantula, and especially if I can remove their webs, I think Nihilego just wins. Just Power Gem, Power Gem, Power Gem, Power Gem. Wins the game. Gengar's actually pretty good too. I'm not going to lie. I guess I could No, I could open Gengar, but in case they open Cleaver and they go straight for a Stone Axe, it's going to KO my Venusaur. It's a big mess. That thing is so strong. Sharpness, probably one of the best new abilities in my opinion. It's kind of like Technician on crack in some cases. Like, it boosts so many powerful moves to absurd levels. Now, it doesn't have the utility, I suppose, that Priority Bullet Punch does. But hey, it boosted Stone Axe and Stealth Rock. I'm not going to say no to that. By the looks of it, my opponent isn't even going to appear. This literally is Mono Poison wins by doing absolutely nothing. I definitely enjoy this type though. I think Stall Poison or Defensive Poison is... I don't know if better is the term. I think the meta has shifted a lot where offense is quite good. And it's hard to defend against some of the absurd levels of power currently in the metagame. But I think Stall or Defensive Poison definitely suits its playstyle more, and it's probably a bit easier, less stressful to play than Offense Poison. But I really am enjoying Offense Poison just to do something different, so I was pretty happy to try this out. And for those of you who don't know, Poison's probably one of my favorite types, if not my favorite type. It definitely top 3 along with like Rock, probably Electric and Poison are my top 3 types if I had to guess or have to say them. If I was forced to answer, I think they're my top 3. Well, I guess that's that. Again, yeah, hey, we take them. Where does Lamian ladder? 1576. Let's have a look. Pretty high. High enough. 1576, 38 on the ladder. Not bad. I mean, I feel I didn't deserve it. I feel like I didn't do anything to deserve this, but I guess I'll take it. I kind of just sat there. My opponent thought, yeah, no, I'm not fighting this team. Overall though, if you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. I know it's annoying to hear, but I am a small channel. It really does help me grow. I'm trying to hit 1k by the end of the year. Maybe an unrealistic goal, but I think if I continuously push in the direction I'm going, and with your support, I think I can make it. So that'd be very much appreciated. Hope to catch you next time, everyone. Take care and have a good day.